The most extreme diets. There are a few diets that truly do live up to their claims, even though many of the so-called extreme diets are not balanced and do not live up to their claims. Even if a diet is successful in causing weight loss, this does not necessarily suggest that it can be maintained over the long run. Although they frequently claim to be effective in promoting rapid weight loss and other health advantages, there's frequently little scientific proof to back up their use. In addition, they frequently lack a nutritional balance and are inefficient throughout a prolonged period. On the other hand, some diets are considered to be fads that have been shown to result in weight loss in controlled trials of a high quality. Number 1. The Atkins Diet. The Atkins Diet is widely considered to be the most well-known low-carb fat loss program in the entire globe. It was in the early 1970s that cardiologist Robert Atkins came up with the idea for the Atkins Diet, which asserts that it can lead to quick weight loss without causing hunger. There are 4 stages, the first of which is called the induction phase, and it lasts for 2 weeks. During this phase, carbohydrates are limited to 20 grams per day, but protein and fat are allowed in unlimited quantities. Your body will begin to convert fat into molecules known as ketones during this phase, and it will transition to using these ketones as its primary source of energy. Once this is complete, the Atkins diet requires its adherents to gradually add back their carbohydrate intake in increments of 5 grams. This is done to discover their critical carbohydrate levels to lose weight and keep it off successfully. When compared to other diets, the Atkins diet has been demonstrated to be at least as successful, and in many cases even more effective for weight loss according to studies that have been conducted. 311 obese women participated in the well-known A to Z study, in which they followed either the Atkins diet, the low-fat Ornish diet, the Liren diet, or the Zone diet for 1 year. Out of all the groups, the Atkins group experienced the most weight loss. Several other controlled studies have demonstrated comparable outcomes with low-carb diets that adhere to the principles of the Atkins diet, as well as improvements in the risk factors for cardiovascular disease. Number 2. South Beach Diet. As was the case with Dr. Atkins, Dr. Arthur Agatston was a cardiologist who was interested in assisting his patients in losing weight in a manner that was both sustainable and devoid of hunger. Although there were features of the Atkins diet that he enjoyed, he was concerned that the program's unlimited consumption of saturated fat could potentially raise the risk of developing heart disease. Therefore, in the middle of the 1990s, he developed a diet that was high in protein, low in carbohydrates, and low in fat. He called it the South Beach Diet, which was named after the region in South Florida where he worked as a physician. Even though phase 1 of the diet is low in carbohydrates and very low in fat, phases 2 and 3 of the diet become less restrictive. During these phases, the diet permits restricted quantities of all types of unprocessed foods while maintaining a high protein intake. Number 3. Vegan Diet. Vegan diets have gained a lot of popularity among those who are trying to lose weight. Because they do not contain any items derived from animals, they have been criticized for being unbalanced and extreme. However, they have also been lauded for being a moral and healthful method of eating, which is a positive aspect of their practice. Particularly noteworthy is the fact that vegan diets can be either healthy or unhealthy, depending on the kinds of foods that they include. While consuming a significant quantity of processed meals and beverages, it is highly improbable that you will be able to achieve weight loss. Number 4. Ketogenic Diet. Even though the ketogenic diet has been identified as a fad diet, there is no doubt that it has the potential to be very effective for weight loss. It accomplishes this by reducing the amount of insulin in your body and gradually switching your primary source of fuel from sugar to ketones. Fatty acids are the building blocks of these chemicals, and your brain and other organs can use them as a source of electricity. When your body is unable to burn carbohydrates, it enters a state known as ketosis, which causes it to switch to burning ketones instead. Nevertheless, in contrast to the Atkins diet and other low-carb diets, ketogenic diets do not gradually increase the amount of carbohydrates consumed. To ensure that followers remain in a state of ketosis, they stick to a very low carbohydrate consumption. Ketogenic diets, in point of fact, often supply fewer than 50 grams of total carbohydrates per day and frequently provide fewer than 30. Number 5. Paleo Diet. The diet that is based on the foods that hunter-gatherers consumed thousands of years ago is known as the Paleo Diet, which is an abbreviation for the Paleolithic diet. The Paleo diet has been categorized as a fad diet because it prohibits a wide variety of foods such as grains, legumes, and dairy products. Furthermore, opponents have pointed out that it is not only not feasible, but also not even viable to consume the same foods that our ancestors did when they lived in prehistoric times. However, the paleo diet is a well-balanced and healthful eating plan that discourages the consumption of processed foods and encourages its adherents to consume a wide variety of meals, including plant-based and animal-based alternatives. For one study, 70 obese women in their latter years followed either a paleo diet or a conventional diet. When compared to the other group, the paleo group had lost a much greater amount of weight and abdominal fat after 6 months. Number 6. The Zone Diet. Beginning in the middle of the 1990s, a scientist from the United States named Dr. Barry Sears developed the Zone Diet. It has been categorized as a fad diet because it requires a specific proportion of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins to achieve the best possible results in terms of weight loss and overall health. According to this eating plan, your daily calorie intake should consist of 30% lean protein, 30% healthy fat, and 40% carbohydrates that are high in fiber. Additionally, these items are to be ingested in the form of a predetermined number of blocks within the context of meals and snacks. One of the hypotheses that has been put forward to explain how the Zone Diet works is that it can reduce inflammation, which in turn makes it simpler to shed excess pounds. Number 7. The Dukan Diet. Looking at the beginning phases of the Dukan Diet, it is simple to understand why it is sometimes referred to as a diet that is considered to be a fad. In the 1970s, a French physician named Pierre Dukan came up with the idea for the Dukan Diet, which is comprised of 4 stages. It begins with the attack phase, which is virtually completely comprised of foods that are low in fat and consist of lean proteins. By boosting metabolism and considerably reducing appetite, this extremely high-protein diet will lead to rapid weight reduction, which is the logic behind the consumption of such a large quantity of protein products. The stabilization phase is the final stage during which no foods are forbidden, although high-protein foods and vegetables are encouraged. Other foods are added with each stage until the stabilization phase. You need to consume just foods from the attack phase once per week to complete the final phase. Even though this diet appears to be quite restrictive, it does appear to result in weight loss. Number 8. The 5-2 Diet. There is a sort of intermittent fasting known as alternate day fasting that is also known as the 5-2 diet. Another name for this diet is the fast diet. On this diet, you consume the same amount of food as you normally would for 5 days of the week, but you limit your calorie intake to between 500 and 600 calories for 2 days of the week. This creates an overall calorie deficit, which facilitates weight loss. A modified version of the alternate day fasting method is what the 5-2 diet is thought to be. Several alternate day fasting regimens, on the other hand, require participants to abstain from eating for a complete 24 hours. Several people have referred to the 5-2 diet as a fad diet because it requires an incredibly low calorie intake on the 2 fast days. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more interesting and informative videos.